Hello, good morning, everybody. Well, we've got to get rid of that bit there, don't we? All right, there we go. Good morning. Hey, good to see you online. I can see a few of you right now. Hey, good morning to Alison and Aaron. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning, crew. Fabulous Friday. Aaron, got the coffees going on. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Hope you're all awesome and well wherever you are. There's Tim. Tim, how are you, mate? Alison, let us know where you are, what you're up to, folks, on this fabulous Friday. Thanks for joining me today. As things warm up, I'm just going to quickly do the little intros. If you don't know already, my name's Jason Whitten. Most of you know that. Most of you are the regulars. But if you are new, if you've just recently joined our mentoring or coaching program, you found us in the chat, then welcome along. Each day, often, mostly, pretty well. We've been doing this for about 3 and a bit years now. Each day we get together, a few crazy crew, maybe just like you, who are keen on creating wealth using real estate, and we get together and have a coffee and we have a chat. So thanks for joining us today. Make sure you put a little reminder in your calendar for that one. Join us as we go. Along the way, I try and share a little bit about what I've learned over the last 20 plus years coaching property investors, 25 plus years investing myself, 10,000 plus investments owned by my clients across Australia and New Zealand. Along the way, might have learnt one or two things, and I get the privilege to share a little bit of that with you guys each morning. So hopefully, wherever you are, whatever you're up to, you're doing well. Kevin, all the way from Florida. Good to see. We've got some international guests as well. Good morning to Luke. Tim's all the way from Rocky. There we go. Cold. Well, it's a heat wave in the north and it's cold in the south, Chris. Well, there you go. Hey, listen, you guys have heard me talk about this one before. And today, I wanted to see that. I might run this out. Today, I was going to talk to you guys about the stages I have seen property investors go through when it comes to the stages of creating wealth. And I'm going to sort of tie in some bit of touchy-feely today. Not too much, but we'll just get in there and we'll have a bit of a look. So you guys have heard me talk about this before. Some of you have. And if you're new, you might not have. The 3 stages of investing, property investing. Tell me, in the chat, some of you know, in the chat, what are the stages we talk about all the time? here at Positive and the stages that I've noticed over the last 20 plus years working with property investors, just like you, that we go through when it comes to the world of investing, all right, property investing particularly. But what are the three stages? I put them up there on the I'll put them up there on the board. Tell me in the chat if you know what's going on. Rose is a bit chilly, she said, down there in Melbourne. Well, there you go. We just saw yesterday our crew in Melbourne had, jumpers and jackets on, and in Queensland wearing shorts. Look, I got my shorts on and T-shirts. There you go. All right. Well, listen, a few of you jumping on there. Rose, accumulation, consolidation, lifestyle, accumulation, consolidation, retirement. There we go. Excitement buying. Okay. There you go. What? Snow in the mountains and at 36 in Sydney. Anyway, things are crazy. Enough about the weather. Let's talk about property. The three stages. Accumulation or acquisition. The idea, the first stage we all go through is we need to buy some things. Buy the properties. The number of properties, the value of properties, or assets. This can be an asset of any description, but we're a bit mad about property investing. This is the idea where we get into it and we buy. And you guys know there's a lot of moving parts in here, a lot of moving parts in acquisition. It's quite frankly the hardest part. The hardest part is getting started. The hardest part is knowing who to talk to, when to talk to them, what to listen to. It can be confusing. And most people don't get past this stage, unfortunately. Let's talk about the acquisition stage. Because what I do know, seeing thousands, tens of thousands of property investors' portfolios, if we want to get to these other stages, this is what we can call a consolidation stage. And over here, call this the lifestyle stage, and we'll talk about that in a second, right? If you want to get to this lifestyle stage, which for most of us, let me ask you this question. In the lifestyle stage, what is your expectation? What do you want from your investing? What do you want from your investing? So this is kind of the mechanical conversation. Put it in the chat for me right now. You do all this stuff, and over here you're expecting what? What are you expecting your investments to do for you? And this is 99.9% of investors. Boom, passive income. You want a passive income, all right? Over here, what you want is you want your assets to go to work, make you some money, so you don't have to. Options, like totally, Tim, right? That passive income gives you options. And if you dig deeper into it, what does it give you? It gives you more choices, gives you more time. We're going to talk about that in a second. You want it to give you a passive income. You need to know what it is, how much, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But let's look at this. To get to this passive income, for most investors, yeah, there you go, provide a full wage, and you want your assets to be low or debt-free, okay? Now, there's a little balancing act there. Depending on how many assets you have will depend on your debt levels, okay? But we won't talk about that complication today or that thing today. So you need to get some assets. What I do know, on average, you can chuck it in the chat for me right now. Give me a number. Quantify this number for me. Quantify your passive income. Quantify this stages of passive income. Here's what I do know. A lot of investors I talk to say, I want a passive income, and this is where Luke is right, a passive income from my assets between $100,000 and $200,000, and I want my assets to be low or debt free. Okay, 80 grand right there. So 80 grand, 100 grand. There we go. 150 grand. You can see the numbers. All right. So what I do know, if we're talking a 15 to 20 year time frame, we've had this chat many times, team, haven't we? We've had this chat many times. Buy well, never sell. You've got to buy some good stuff. You've got to keep it for long enough. All right. And along the way, you've got to make sure you do the things you've got to do. do some debt reduction, do some renovations and add value, maintain the value of your property for its rental capacity, et cetera, et cetera. So 15 to 20 years, get to this passive income, call it between $100,000 and $200,000. How many properties, based on some very conservative numbers, what's the minimum amount of properties for us to get from zero investments over here to this passive income? This is just mathematics. You can do it as in the value of the properties, like the beginning value in the acquisition, or you can do the number. But tell me, how many properties or value of properties do we need to start with? Anyone know the number? Because we've done this before. The mathematics of how many properties, value of properties do we need to get hold of in the acquisition phase, folks? All right. Anyone know? Which doesn't include your own home at this point in time. Okay. But it can, right? So absolutely 100%. It's about 5 properties or about $3 million worth of real estate. So 5 or 3. Yep. Boom. There you go. Alison, away you go. So at the lower end, $100,000, you could probably get away with sort of 4 to 2 million, maybe 3 properties to 2 million at the higher end. Exactly. And then there's some calculations, right? You're dead right, Luke. So, but here's what I know. Less than 1% of the Australian population, 25 million people, less than 1% ever get anywhere near this, okay? So we need to understand psychologically and a little bit of today emotionally what drives us to stay on track. Because, when we talk about 15 to 20 years, I don't know about you, when I was 25 or younger, if someone said, wait, hang on, Jason, all you got to do is buy something and wait 20 years and you'll be sweet. Like, tell me in the chat, how did you feel about waiting 20 years when you were 25? I don't know about you. I wasn't waiting 20 minutes for anything, let alone 20 years. But that really, when it comes to buy and hold, passive income real estate, time is your number one. Never waited. Number one. Time's number one, folks. All right. So we need to get 5 or more investment properties. Debt-free is a difficult part, Tim. It is and it isn't, Tim. And this is the thing. This is what I find, folks. Tell me right now, what is what's the general length of a mortgage, e.g., the bank will give you a loan and that loan pays itself off in how many years? How many years to pay for the property to pay itself off, folks? Put that in the chat. Now, if you get your numbers right, 25 to 30 years. And this is kind of like in this acquisition phase, we're not going to dive deep into this part, but 3 to 5 years interest only, and the last 25 years needs to be principal and interest if you want it to debt reduce that way. So that's the passive debt reduction strategy. Or an active debt reduction strategy, you can do something like you can sell one of your properties. What, Jason, you said never sell. Well, sometimes that might work for your debt reduction strategy. Absolutely, Luke. It's hard to pay debt down the first 10 years. Yeah. So it's this balancing act, right? And this is where psychologically you've got to keep going, because the first 10 years, Luke, is not about debt reduction, is it? The first 10 years is about acquisition. Okay? The second 10 years will be this it's not linear, okay? It's not linear. Your rental income goes up and your debts start to go down pretty quickly depending on what you're doing with the spare passive income, okay? So you're dead right. The first 10 years is the hardest, okay? So we want to get over here. We want to get to this section over here. We want to get to where our wealth and our rent has gone up. Oh, that's not a very good color, is it? Let me see if I can use a better color. All right, so we want to get our rent and our passive income up, and then we want to get our debt as we go along to go down. Okay, we know this. You guys, yeah, rather than get more debt. Yeah. So over here is the opportunity where there's equity, there's value, and that is kind of the 20 to 30 year plan. All right. How can you accelerate that? There's ways to accelerate it. We've chatted about that in the past, and I'll chat about that again more in this year as well. How do we? What's going on here? Okay, what's going on here? So there's the general overview, and let's just talk about something in here that I think is pretty cool. This overlay, let's call it an overlay in here when it comes to these stages, okay? These stages of, our asset building. Acquire the right assets, maintain, manage, and maximize in this consolidation phase, right? Maintain, manage, and maximize. And then passive income, structured, very well structured, tax efficiently structured, okay? Tax efficiently structured to get the most out of it, And I've chatted to you guys in the past. I'm going to do it again this year. There's 4 places we can have tax-free. What, Jason? What did you say? There's 4 places you can have tax-free gains as an investor, and there's one place you can get tax-free income. So to be smart, to get the most out of your acquisition, you have to be structured well in your way you own those properties, structured well in how you finance them, and structured well in your strategy, your psychology to go the distance, but also your emotional capacity to go the distance. What keeps you on track, what drives you forward, okay? That sort of stuff. So what overlays this, if we overlaid our 3 stages of acquisition, there's actually 3 stages of emotional investing, okay? So what's the first stage? So let's forget about the acquisition, okay? And most investors I talk to, I'm like, what do you want your investing to do? And they say, replace my income, okay? So if you didn't have an income, you couldn't survive. So the first emotional stage, okay, the first emotional stage of investing when it comes to these 3 stages is the stage of being able to get by, to live. You need money to live, all right? In the acquisition stage, are your assets able to do that? No, you have to put your salary, your income, this exchange in that stage, okay? That in this middle stage, in this consolidation stage, this is where a lot of us, me included, do things for other people. Tell me in the chat, beyond yourself. So yes, I want my income to be replaced so I can, instead of exchanging my time for my life living, I can got my passive income from my investments to take care of it. So what happens then? So the next part, when you've got yourself taken care of, tell me in the chat, who would you take care of next? What is the next stage in this 3 stages of investing in emotional investing, right? All the emotions of this investment process. Put it in the chat for me right now. There's kind of like, an example of these things. So you make sure that you put your own face mask on first. And then when you're financially secure boom, Tim, straight onto it, right? It's kids, it's family, it's people. And this next stage is when you have got your money sorted, you start to help the people you love as the next stage of your financial wealth and money journey. That's what 99% of investors do, which is brilliant. You take care of you take care of the people you love because you've got resources to do that. And the third stage, which Tim's chucked in there already. The third stage is legacy, right? Legacy. What legacy when it comes to you've got enough assets, you've got enough money, whatever your definition is, what are you going to do? And you don't have to, but many people do. Many people are inspired to pay it forward. What are you going to do? What's your legacy part? And a few of you guys know this. Many years ago, I read this book called Leaving Microsoft to Change the World. I love this book. Since then, my legacy piece where I've, taken care of my personal needs and my family, helping all the people around me that I love, financially as well as with opportunities, my legacy piece, now, for the last close on 10 years, I've been building schools around the world. And, we're up to 17 schools. We've got 3 libraries under construction. There's over 6,000 kids go to school every day, which is kind of cool, right? What is the emotional part that will keep you going on top of the practical part? Buy the things, make sure they're working, make sure you get the money out efficiently, et cetera, et cetera. What is it for you? What's driving, the people you love, stage 2, the legacy you want to create or pay forward, stage 3. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully that made sense this morning with our Wealth Coffee chat. There we go. 2 minutes past 8:30. Usually we finish around 8:30. Sometimes I get a bit distracted with our conversations, but hopefully that made sense. Let me know if there's any questions you've got. Please feel free to put them in the chat either now or later. Even if you're watching the replay on this, you can put the questions in the chat and I'll be able to see them a bit later on. And good question, Alison. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom back on today, folks. If you're still here, join Andy and I this afternoon. Big kickoff this afternoon for Wealth, Wine and Wisdom. And it's going to be fun. We've reorganized and re-engineered the show. Join us for some wine. Andy Fenton, financial planning and finance expert extraordinaire, is joining me on Wealth, Wine and Wisdom. We're going to have some couple of glasses of wine. We're going to debrief the week, folks. We're going to talk about what's been happening out there in the world. Let everyone know. Let everyone know, Alison. Anyway, there you go. All right, folks. Thank you for joining me. Done and dusted for this week's Wealth Coffee Chat. Join me next week, 8:10 each day for another Wealth Coffee Chat. Until then, you guys be awesome, be well, and bye for now. That's it. Over and out.